This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the easiest way to create a beautiful website, all on your own terms. Welcome back, everyone. It's an absolutely stunning day here in Paris. The birds are singing, the sky is blue, but best of all, my dad and his wife Valerie, my stepmother, have just arrived to Paris. They are so amazing. They travel all over the world. My dad's turning 80 next month, and he does have some mobility issues, but he's such a trooper. A lot of you may be wondering how good Paris is for older people to travel, or people that just simply have trouble getting around. And some of you might remember that last year I had a couple of major surgeries, and in fact, what I didn't show you on the vlogs is that I too had to get around, sometimes in a wheelchair, sometimes with a cane. And so a lot of people think of big cities and cities like Paris because they're so old and the streets and the stairs and things weren't necessarily built for older people, that it might be too difficult. But with help in the airport, and most airports are set up for this, for wheelchair assistance, things like that, help in the museums. Again, a lot of the museums here in Paris also have facilities. It's perfectly possible to have a dream holiday in Paris. And also, of course, I'm just so excited to be going around and showing you all of our adventures. Now, they really want to see the Lady and the Unicorn tapestries. Actually, it was right after I'd had one of my surgeries last year, took my sister there. It was so great because they had all the facilities that we needed. We went to Versailles. Again, very easy to get around. And we're also going to go to the Musee Carnavalet. And the reason I'm so excited about this is because in last week's video, I showed you the beautiful jewelry pieces designed by Alfonse Mucha. A lot of people know his artwork, but they don't realize that he was also one of the leading jewelers of the day in collaboration with a jewelry designer named Georges Fouquet. And they had a beautiful jewelry store that was designed by Alfonse Mucha himself, inside and outside, and of course housed these beautiful Art Nouveau jewelry pieces. So I found out that the entire jewelry store was dismantled and is now housed in the Musee Carnavalet. The Musee Carnavalet not only is a free museum to get into, but also they do have wheelchairs available and things like that. So it's very accessible. It also doesn't take that long to actually get around. So we're doing smaller museums this time. Dad and Valerie have already done the Louvre and the Eiffel Tower and all these things. They don't want to wait in big long lines. They want to see secret Paris, and I'm happy to show it to them. Now also, of course, Simon, Isabella, and Jack too are waiting impatiently for us at the Chateau. So we're gonna have a couple of amazing days here in Paris. We're gonna go back to yesterday when it was actually raining, but they arrived and again, just hit the ground running. They're so wonderful. And we're gonna show you what we got up to yesterday. I'm gonna show you my office in Paris. We're gonna show you little snippets of some of the places that we visited, including Paris's oldest cafe that housed some of the most revolutionary philosophers of the day. I wonder what's gonna happen when we get back to the Chateau. Let's go find out. It's very early in the morning and I've got tons of work to do. My dad and Valerie just arrived from the States, so they're resting in our little apartment, and I have come to my office, which is the Bibliothèque Mazarine, the library on Rue Mazarine. And it's here at the National Institute of France. It is one of the most beautiful libraries in the world. I feel really lucky that I get to work here. I've got so much to do, but thankfully, my dad and Valerie are gonna be chilling out. This place is so insanely beautiful. I can't believe this is my office today. Yes, we've had a lot of rainy days in Paris this year. Good day to be working. Even in the rain, Paris is really beautiful. So our weather has cleared up just a little bit. It's still very wet. Dad and Valerie are rested. We are on our way to the beautiful Église Sainte-Chapelle, which is considered to be one of the most beautiful and highly ornamented in the world. Let's go have a look. There it is. That's it right there, Dad. See? Big old church. Let's go inside.
Well, that looks a lot of the detail of Notre Dame.
Exactly.
Is that
Same age.
same age?
But the interior is really special. Can I just say how incredible it is that my dad, who's going to be 80 next month, is here traveling all around Paris, sightseeing, just got off of a plane from the States. He and Valerie are really amazing. Really, really amazing. We're going shopping before we even walked in the front door, aren't we? It is a really good shop. Look at this. Look at all these pretty things. Stained glass window jewelry. That's a great idea, isn't it? We just came up one level to see Sainte-Chapelle. Now, we have some mobility issues and they took us up in an elevator. So if any of you are thinking that you can't visit these sites in Paris, many of them now are equipped. One of the reasons I love visiting all these museums and all these other amazing places is, of course, they inspire me so much. They inspire me for the things that I like to collect, that I like to sell. For example, last year when Ashley and I went to the Cluny, I took an amazing picture of À mon seul désir and I turned it into a handbag. It also just really fills my soul with joy, and it gets me out of the house, it gets me out from in front of the computer and the editing and the shipping and the packing and all the rest of the stuff that I do for work. And I just love being inspired when I'm here in Paris, especially for things that I can sell and share with you on the Chateau Love website. Do you have ideas or products that you'd like to share? Why not easily create your own website using Squarespace? It's the simplest way to create a beautiful website and even sell products or content all on your own terms. You'll have control over the look of the website, updates, and managing your own online shop. There are incredible easy-to-use templates, fabulous AI, SEO optimization capabilities, and the Fluid Engine, which enables you to design every aspect of your website with drag and drop technology. Check out squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the link below to save 10% off your first purchase of a domain or a website. Now, let's get back to our Paris adventures, our Chateau adventures, and let's see how well we get around. I think we're gonna do a pretty good job. Now, of course, no day out sightseeing is complete without a visit to a beautiful cafe for a coffee or a glass of wine. Looks like Dad's vlog. The sun has come out and our adventures are continuing. Dad and Valerie have some serious stamina. We are now off to the Cluny Museum, the Musée de Cluny. You guys might remember that I did a big video about a year and a half with Ashley, my sister, all about the Lady and the Unicorn tapestries and a lot of what they have inside this incredible museum. So if you want to see all of the highlights of that, maybe go back and watch that video if you haven't seen it already. Today could not be any more gorgeous. And I've just noticed that right next to the entrance of the Cluny Museum is the world's largest vintage selection. I wonder if they've got jewelry. I wonder if I can talk these two into going into a vintage shop after a museum. That's the other big question. I love the way that medieval crowns and the jewelry feature uncut gemstones. Really pretty. These are all from the 7th century. Imagine. What a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of the jewelry techniques that we know today date back over 1,000 years, some of them thousands of years. Everything from filigree to niello, all of these incredible goldsmithing techniques. Some of the craftsmanship here is every bit as good, if not better, than anything that we see today. So here we have repoussé, which is the technique of embossing from behind, and then stamping, which is a little bit different to repoussé. That usually uses a mold. Filigree, one of my favorite techniques, which has these wonderful swirls that are added. Engraving, we all know what engraving is. Enamel, niello, which are some of the most beautiful and rare pieces still available today. And then this is interesting. They talk about how to add lacquer to highlight the pieces on the gold. We're finding this pretty interesting, aren't we, Dad? We're back in the room with the Lady and the Unicorn tapestries, and it never, ever fails to impress so much. The incredible tapestries that are monumental, featuring sound, touch, smell, sight, and of course the big "A mon seul désir," to my only desire, which nobody really knows what the true meaning of that is all about. What do you think about these tapestries?
Well, I'm wondering, what about the quarter moons and what the 3/4 moons are?
Ah, you know, I should know that.
I know.
I should know that. I did a whole video about this. Okay, Dad, so the coat of arms is from the Leviste family, who are thought to have been the ones who commissioned the tapestries.
Makes sense.
Which makes perfect sense.
Alors, on pouvait plus l'exposer, là, je devrais pas vous dire.
You should copy it.
I should copy it?
Copy it and paint it and replicate it.
Dad thinks I should copy these beautiful frescoes that are around the top of this room. And I don't know, which room should I put those in, Dad? Well, I think you're full of good ideas. I just need a few more hours in the day. Look at all the gilding on these old paintings on wood. having just done a painting on wood with some gilding, I can have a lot of appreciation for this.
The ball ladies are the queens, I guess.
Yes, Dad, don't you know that the more regal a woman, the balder she is?
Hey, that's...
Which is just as well, because my hair's been falling out.
Slap a wig on.
The older they are.
It really is just amazing. We're having the best day ever. And I think, as usual, we're the last ones here. Check that out. You guys okay to do a little vintage shopping?
Absolutely.
Okay, good
forward to it.
sports.
I'm in the mood.
You're such good sports. Okay, let's see. So this place is called Kilo, and everything they sell is by the kilo. So if you find things you like, they weigh it, which is a very interesting concept. Now, thanks to Uber, we can get around very easily wherever we want to go, and it's really making this couple of days super, super easy. Ready for some more fun in Paris, Dad?
Yes, of course.
This one's really exciting. Look at that. Look at those magnificent gates. The entrance to the Musee Carnavalet. This is the Museum of the History of Paris, but also we're going to go see that jewelry shop I told you about.
And who is this young lady over here?
That young lady is your wife. She's pretty good looking. Now this is an entrance, if I ever saw one. What a beautiful courtyard. And there's Louis XIV himself. The Carnavalet Museum, otherwise known as the History of Paris Museum, is a municipal museum dedicated to the history of Paris, dating from the origins of the city to the present day. It's located in the Marais, which is in the 3rd arrondissement of Paris, and it has collections on various themes: the memories of the French Revolution, historical paintings, sculptures, furniture, and most excitingly for me, decorations from the 17th and the 18th centuries, object of art, prints, all sorts of things, and of course, this legendary jewelry shop that I cannot wait to see. How beautiful is this? I'm already so excited. All set?
Yes.
Great. The Musée Carnavalet is actually not one, but two old mansions here in Paris that were joined together to make this beautiful museum. And it's been a museum packed full of treasures for nearly 200 years. This looks to be the facade of an old apothecary. That's cool. I love all these old signs. We can, definitely. Gosh, that's beautiful though. Do you want to have a look from down here at this? It's spectacular. Look, we can see what Paris looked like 100 years ago. So in case you're wondering, yes, Paris does have a coat of arms. I'm familiar with this because of the Art Deco bracelets that we sell that are from the art, from about 100 years ago. And this is often the central panel, which is surrounded by other monuments. And these are medallions of Paris from the 1700s. But what's amazing is, look here, there's actually a Wedgwood medallion of the heraldic symbols of Paris that dates back to 1791 and 1793. I'm pretty sure there's no Chateau door in the world that could compare with this. This is an old door from the town hall. Now this is interesting to commemorate the 100 years of when the Olympics was here before in 1924, very Art Deco. There are these fantastic things that were created to celebrate the Olympics and the sports involved. This is the old entrance from the Hotel de Breteuil, completely dismantled and put in this museum, and everything is Wedgwood and this lovely shade of taupe. There's a lot to see in this wonderful room, but my favorite thing of all has to be this little teeny tiny dog bed. This is my absolute favorite room so far. This room used to be in an apartment on the Ile de la Cité, and clearly the owners were really missing the countryside, because it's called Ode to the Countryside, and each wall is painted with the most beautiful paintings, oil paintings. And now we can kind of reproduce this with some good wallpapers, but there's nothing quite like the real. So right behind me is what I came to see. It's the jewelry shop that was designed by Alfonse Mucha, the entire exterior and the interior, and it's absolutely breathtaking. It's hard to stand back and show you properly because if you see here, the wall is just right there. But imagine this would have been where the jewelry displays would have happened. In the window, this wonderful, typically Mucha lady holding strands of jewelry and adorned with strands of jewelry as well. Beautiful stained glass windows that probably would have been so bright and lovely from the inside, each one of them beautifully adorned. Now let's go see inside. I really am so excited. Everything is so quintessentially Art Nouveau. From this embroidered tapestry border, which is very similar to the one that Steve and Sarah have at the Chateau de Saint-Germain-des-Prés. A very, very interesting fireplace. Look at that. It looks like the sort of thing that Antonio Gaudi might have done in Barcelona. But the pièce de la résistance is the central panel featuring stained glass windows and this peacock perched atop, and there's also a peacock in the middle. My dad just pointed out something really interesting. The stained glass that we're looking at actually isn't leaded. It's got heavy black outlines, and there was a lot of black outlining and outlining in general in Art Nouveau art. But this is a very interesting technique because now you can buy glass paints and perhaps try this technique at home and you might get a very similar effect. It's extremely effective, extremely pretty, and it actually doesn't look that difficult. Imagine standing up here and then showing your clients all the beautiful Art Nouveau jewelry pieces. And on that note, I think it's time for me to show you Jewelry of the Week. I'm busy packaging up this week's jewelry, and I am sad to see this absolute beauty go. This is an interesting story over here. I don't know if you guys remember in the episode a couple of weeks ago, I featured these beautiful lapis lazuli pieces with the wonderful earrings. There was a gorgeous bracelet. The bracelet sold to one person and these two items sold to somebody else. She contacted me just as they were being shipped and said that she was having a personal problem and couldn't continue with the sale. She had some unexpected travel and associated expenses. So I've got them back, and I think what I'm going to do, they're so exquisite, and a lot of you had written to me after that episode saying how sad you were that this sold so quickly. It is now back on the site, and I think I'm going to list them together. I feel sad that they might be separated because they are just so spectacular, and as you see, I found this absolutely wonderful leather and suede box for the set as well, and so this will be something very lovely that will go to someone soon. And as I've just showed you, we finally have another one of these heraldic Art Deco Grand Tour bracelets, this one representing Paris. And you know that I'm obsessed with cameos, and so if you love to garden or you know someone who loves to garden, then this is the perfect cameo because it represents Demeter, the goddess of the harvest, and it's exquisitely carved. True antique earrings are exceptionally hard to come by because the posts would often break. Here we have a pair of very rare late Victorian cameo earrings facing each other, beautifully carved, and they did come with the original screwback earrings, but I had them converted to sterling silver hooks because those are more wearable now, but I will include the screwbacks in case somebody would actually like to have them easily return to their original state. And doesn't everyone need a magnificent diamond ring? Covered in diamonds, in fact. Speaking of beautiful jewelry, look what Valerie bought me yesterday. Aren't they lovely? It's acanthus leaves that also make a very interesting shape of lion's head. We're very excited about jewelry in our family. So Dad, no day out in Paris is worth anything without tea time and a blue-haired harpist in the background. And then there's this incredible cafe called Fabula. It's a very fabulous name. Isn't that gorgeous? So it's like legit.
Some sunny day. I love Paris in the springtime. I love Paris in the fall. I love Paris in the winter when it drizzles. I love Paris in the summer when it sizzles. I love Paris every moment of the year. I love Paris. Why, oh why do I love Paris? Because my love is here.
For dinner, we've come to one of the most iconic places in the whole of Paris called Le PROCOPE. It's been around since the 1600s. It's where the philosophers met to plan the revolution. And it's also a perfect place to come with Dad and Valerie for dinner. And we are having very classic French dishes. All right, Dad, what you got there?
We got an onion soup,
French onion soup.
escargot.
Escargot. I mean, it doesn't get any Frencher than that, does it? And you're surrounded by philosophers, including Rousseau and others, in this beautiful, beautiful restaurant, and lots of history. I wonder what's coming next for our dinner. Out there,
Sea bass.
sea bass. That looks beautiful. The big old shiitake mushroom. Valerie's having the same thing. Lovely.
C'est si bon. Lovers say that in France. When they thrill to romance, they say that it's so good. C'est si bon. So I say it to you, like the French people do, when it's oh so good. Every word, every sigh, every kiss, dear, leads to only one thought, and it's this, dear.
Well, I'm so happy to be back at the Chateau, and I've got Dad and Valerie here, and we're finally reunited with Isabella and Jack and Simon, and I have a very, very special plan for the day. This is my only plan for the day. I'm gonna surprise my dad with a very special recipe. When he was a young man, he lived in New Orleans. He went to Tulane University, and he loves Cajun food. And I have been perfecting making Cajun gumbo for a very long time. And so I am going to surprise him with gumbo. He does not know what to expect. He's been guessing. He's guessed jambalaya. He's guessed etouffee. He has not yet guessed gumbo. So this is great. I've got all the ingredients, and it is a long process. But it is so rewarding. The flavors are amazing. And so I'm about to make proper Chateau gumbo. If I'm lucky, I'll get some help in the kitchen. And hopefully my dad will be delighted tonight. He and Valerie have come a long way, all the way to France from the States. We've been around Paris. We're now relaxing at the Chateau. And I'm really glad that I get to spoil him just a little bit. This is the best daughter in the world, peeling shrimp, which is a job I really didn't want to do, so I really, really appreciate you doing it. Group effort.
Fresh parsley from the garden.
Fresh parsley from the garden, and you've got a helper.
Yes, we do.
My granddaddy.
Get chopping. The other thing we need is thyme, and thankfully we have it in abundance. You can use fresh thyme or dried thyme, and I think I'm going to use fresh. I've got a bunch of it right here.
Like, okra. I want to try okra.
You do? Absolutely. And okra is in the other life, big time. It's filler. So much is filler. It's a way of making a little bit go a long way.
What are you talking about?
Crawfish.
Crawfish.
What do you do with them?
Sucking their heads.
Yeah.
I've had crawfish before.
She's
What else do you call crawfish when you live in Louisiana?
crawdads.
Secret ingredient. What's this I see?
Champagne pour la dame.
Is this because I'm working so hard cooking?
Yes.
Thank you.
Exactly what it's
All chefs need a glass of champagne.
lovingly poured.
Or a glass of wine, right, Dad? Oh, thank you. Yes, that is just what I need before I get back to this. Ooh la la. Hi.
Here's the rice.
Beautiful, just on the buffet. Jack.
Daddy's right down.
He's holding like a baby.
I don't know why you're waiting expectantly. This isn't for you. I'm sorry. have a very, very, very special dinner tonight for my father. Especially, it's for everybody actually. But Dad, can you guess what it is? You've been trying to guess all night.
I have given you all the guesses, like etouffee, jambalaya.
Yeah, it's neither of those. Tonight you are getting my very authentic chicken, sausage, and shrimp gumbo.
Oh, very good. Wonderful.
All right.
Gumbo, sounds good. Is it a jumbo gumbo?
Yes.
How big is it?
With this crowd, it's big enough. You won't go hungry. And there's more in the kitchen.
Okay, good. Super.
Go get your jumbo gumbo. Valerie, you're up first. Dad, what's the verdict?
You should open up a restaurant, darling.
Oh, coming from you, that's high praise. Thank you.
If you make a restaurant, can you add a crawfish? Because I want to try crawfish.
Yes, I can also make crawfish etouffee coming soon.
and seafood boils.
Yes, seafood boils.
And then we go to Costco.
Wow, little boy.
You are obsessed with Costco. You're obsessed with going to Costco.
There's no Costco in Europe.
Okay, well listen, next time we go, I'll think about it.
Surely Costco's just the same as Target.
We'll hit Target, Walmart, and Costco just for you, Isabella.
There you go.
And as they say in Louisiana, laissez le bon temps rouler. Yeah, let the good times roll.
Angels sing from above. Everyday words seem to turn into love songs. Give your heart and soul to me, and life will